Hello, everyone. Surprise, it's Laurel. Naomi's had a little bit of tech issues. Ugh, always seems to go that way. So she's still trying to get situated. But anyway, so I'm here. So what's up? How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? Naomi's card was a super easy baby quilt block card. But also, what you may not know about Naomi is she is a Cricut guru. So, if she is able to make it, you could consider asking her questions about Cricut. And she also does sublimation as well. So, I hope that she's going to make it. But until then, let's just chit chat. What's going on with everyone? Oh, she's coming on. She's coming on soon. So we're going to get ready. But again, her project was super easy baby quilt block card. And again, Cricut expert, sublimation expert. She does all these things. So it's super fun. So I'm going to pop her up on the screen and we'll get ready to welcome her. Hey, girl. Hi.
Hello, friends. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, my friend?
Good.
Good.
Running like crazy always. Hey, we matched today. I love it.
It's always like that. So all is well. We just chatted a little bit. I told them that the tech gremlins were getting in your way, but you would make it here, and here you are.
Here I am.
So she is here to answer any questions you have. It's only as live as the questions that keep coming in. Otherwise, she's going to stare at herself and watch herself breathing, and that's uncomfortable. So we don't want to do that to her. So I'm going to go pop behind the scenes, but I'm still here. I just won't be on camera. And if any questions do come in, I will pop them on the bottom of the screen for you, Naomi. But do talk about your card and your Cricut. I know you had something else going on this weekend, so just start sharing.
Yes. Thanks for having me on. Hi, everybody. I'm Naomi Garcia from EJ's Fun Crafting. I'm in my studio right now, my garage studio. So just happy to be here. Happy to be part of the Stress-Free Card Making Summit, because who doesn't want stress-free, right? And making cards is such a fun thing that it's something that I've done all the time. Ever since I was little, I can remember just making cards just to make cards, right? And always giving them away. And I love that my kids do that now too. So I have cards everywhere tucked away that my kids have made for me. Mom, I hope you feel better. Thank you for being the best mom, even when you don't feel like it. Happy anniversary. And I love that they pick that up, because it's a way for them to know how to I guess, express their appreciation for people and for things. Every time they get something from their aunties, their cousins, they always send thank you cards. And I love that. So I love to continue to do that. And so I'm excited to be able to share that card making with you all and with my kids. Hi, Rosemary. Thank you. Yeah, my baby card was super easy. 1-inch square paper punch yesterday. Yay! So that's going to be cool, because you don't have to worry about cutting with the paper trimmer. You just do the squares and cut them out, and then you place them wherever you want to. So if anybody didn't see my card, let me see. I thought I had it right here. I probably put it away. I did a baby card. Bring on the questions for me. Yes, I did an easy baby quilt card. So when you can see over here, that's my sewing area. That's for my embroidery machine. My mat for quilting, and my acrylic ruler. I also like to quilt. I do all kinds of crafting. But what I love about crafting is that you can bring together all different kinds of crafting that you do into one thing. So it doesn't have to be separate. It's not just about quilting or just about card making or just about scrapbooking. So what I did was take some of my favorite um, quilt patterns, and I kind of changed them up a little bit. And I said, I can make this into a card. Super cute baby card. So now I can have cards that match the quilts that I make for the babies when I give out. Or just, you can take any quilt pattern, cut your squares, make it to the size you want to, cut your squares, and then just go with it. So that's an exciting thing too. I heard Laurel tell you all about my adventures, but I'll talk about that later. Quilt cards that you can show. Show us some quilts. I wish I had some in here. I know I wish I was better prepared. I did make a few different quilt cards. I'm trying to see if I see them from where I am right now. Hold on. I'm in my craft room, and I should have had my cards right here. No, I don't have the baby card right here. So there's a few. The if you've ever seen a log cabin quilt, it starts with a square in the middle, and then you just build out with long rectangles around until you finish it out. And you can have several of those put together. You can just do one big one, right? So I would one of the cool cards is to have the log cabin as the middle. So you do a square and it can be the middle one, right? So you do the log cabin with everything around it, and then you can actually do sashes on the side or something. That would be pretty cool. I do lots of yes, I like doing making cards, quilting, sewing is my first love. I started sewing. My mom gave me my first sewing machine when I was about 11, and she taught us to sew just by doing. So it wasn't okay. We're gonna, this is called a pattern. No, I watched my mom sew the whole time I was growing up, and so she just gave us and she got us a pattern and said, okay, this is what you're gonna make. I'll help you, but you need to do this. So I've been sewing forever. Way back, I used to do plastic canvas. I do some crocheting. You guys saw my knitting. This is the closest I get to knitting right here, the looms, because the knitting, I don't know why I can't pick that up very well. Casting on and all that. So I do some crochet. My daughter, she's 15 now. She's actually picked up crocheting as that's her thing. So she's an expert crochet artist at 15. Honestly, she can see anything, and just even without a pattern, she knows her basic stitches, and then she can just go from there. On my glitter up here, oh, this is glitter behind me. For a long time I was making tumblers. So I haven't done a tumbler in a couple of years, but on my glitter here is about my tumbler making, my working with epoxy and with resin. So some of that. And part of the reason that I do so many different kinds of crafting is because you can tell by the way I'm talking, right? Is that I'm just my mind is always going. My mind is always going, and so I'm interested in the way to make. I love making things look pretty. I love taking the time and making things for people. I don't keep most of the crafts I make are given away. Even when I make them like for summits and stuff, I put them in a special stash to give out later, or I use them in giveaways. And so that's another thing. Sublimation is another one of my big crafts right now. And I just started with laser crafting not too long ago. So those are a few of the things that I do. Always on the run. Um, I am a homeschool mama. So, and I also have my own preschool in my home. And so we work in crafting a lot. We work crafting into our lessons, and it's just an amazing way to see the kids progress. The most fun thing I've done on my Cricut. Okay, so my Cricut is like that's when I got into this online space. I think I would have to say one of the most fun things because there's so many things and there's so many different ways to use a Cricut. People don't always know that. But I think one of the most fun things I made was my front porch sign. So I have one of those porch leaner signs, the real long ones, but it hangs up, and I made it. So I cut everything out on my Cricut and put everything on there. And I think that was fun because it was one of the first home decor pieces I made. I've never been great at home decor, so being able to do something like that and like wow, and it's lasted for like 3-4 years since I moved into this home is amazing. So I like it. The Cricket's cutie. No, I did not. So I'll bring it. I can't. Can I reach it? I can reach it. This one, I didn't crochet it. I have a friend who is a master crochet artist. And when she found out how much I loved Cricut and she would see the Cricut cuties, she actually surprised me. So she crocheted this and sent it to me. I'm in West Texas in El Paso, and she lives in Austin when she sent it to me. So yeah, this is my Cricut cutie. And yeah, that's the story of my crocheted Cricut cutie. That was a good question. Sublimation, yes, Louise, I love that question. Sublimation is amazing. So it's a process. It's a scientific thing, right? So with sublimation, you take the ink that you're using. It's specially formulated ink, and it goes from solid, liquid, whatever you want to call, directly to gas and combines with your substrate. So, for instance, I use special sublimation markers for this tumbler. And what I did is I designed on paper. I use my sublimation markers, and then I use water to kind of make it watercolor look. And then, but what it requires high heat and then the right surface that you're ironing on, that you're transferring it to. And you can make, so there's clothes. I did socks earlier this week, but they're in the washer right now because I wore them after I made them. Um, Bags. Let me see. I might have a bag right here that I did. Yep. So this is a patch, and this is sublimation. So it's one with the patch. You can't feel it, and it won't wash out. It's one with it. Here's another example. I have actually a class coming up this weekend on sublimation, and we're going to be making coasters. So this is sublimation as well. It's one. It's not going to rub off. It doesn't come off. This is it. So my website is ejsfuncrafting.com. It's under construction now because it's getting an awesome reboot, a revamp. It's gonna be so I left it up so that I wouldn't have a lapse in the actual website. But you can visit me there. I've got lots of projects on sublimation. What you're gonna find mostly on my site, you'll find sublimation. If you see anything that says artistry or it looks like artist bricks, it's sublimation, special kind of sublimation. And then you're gonna find Cricut stuff, of course. I don't have much laser stuff up there right now. So and stuff that has to do with education, especially early education and getting kids, things that you can do with kids to help them incorporate learning. You've done okay, Susan. It's okay. So I have done one or two where I show how to use the Cricut to how to make a pattern, no, how to make your template so that you can use a Cricut, but I haven't made like the super. I think you may be thinking about either my friend who does, I have a couple of friends who do that. Um, Delonda does that. Delonda Ford with Crafting with Delonda, and um Craftable Things, I think, does that also. Ashley is amazing. Hey, Debbie, thanks for being in here. Ashley is amazing, right? She rocks for real. I mean, Ashley, y'all don't know, Artistry is the founder of craft sublimation. And so, okay, I was talking about sublimation. For the most part, most people think about sublimation for clothes and for shirts and stuff like that, but they're thinking about printing. So here's an example. This is a design I created myself, and then I printed it on my printer. This is sublimation print from my sublimation printer. Okay. But sublimation print, if you're not going to be doing it often and you just, it's not really what you want to do, or you're not sure you want to do it, you can get into craft sublimation with Artistry. Now, Artistry makes really cool products. They make markers, they make paint. Debbie, help me out. We have markers, paint, stamps, and ink pads, so that, and in fact, I have some here because I was doing a demonstration earlier. And here's their ink. And you can do sublimation. You can make your own sublimation patterns without a printer and just using plain copier paper. And you can even use a home iron. Really cool. You don't even have to have a heat press. You're right. The color on this paper is not the final color. I wish I had my socks so I could show you guys. This is the design I use for my socks. And so Laurel knows I'm a huge Gilmore Girls fan. So this is actually a Gilmore Girls pattern that I designed with the dragonflies and then with Luke's blue hat. I'll send you some of those socks. Look, I have one more pair left here that I was going to demonstrate with, so I'll hook you up. They come out so vibrant. Everything when you're done is so vibrant. So going back to the Artistry. So this is just one example. I kind of like a relief transfer. I kind of did a paint pour, and then I put this on top and swiped it. Came up with this. So this can be, I can use this as my page to make any pattern I want. I can put this on my Cricut and cut this out, make whatever I want, and then put it onto something. That would be really cool too. I have a sawgrass, Susan. So down here, right here, I have a sawgrass SG 500. And this right here is a converted Epson. So I do have a converted Epson that I used as backup for when I had run out of ink. And my Epson, it wasn't going to be here in enough time on my sawgrass. It wasn't going to be here in enough time to finish a project. But I do like my SG 500. There are some limitations with it. It's a smaller one. It's like an entry level sublimation printer, but it does good for me for what I've done. That was a good question too. Thank you, Susan. What other questions? Guys, I can just talk forever and ever. I I love crafting again. So when it comes to card making, I have so many things that when I first got before I got into Cricut. Okay, so when I was getting into Cricut, the first Cricut thing that I knowingly and conscientiously bought was a Cricut cuddle bug. So this was my mom's. So when she passed away, I got her cuddle bug back. I got a cuddle bug first, and I was so excited about all the possibilities that I told you have it. Yay! I told all of my sisters. I have 6 sisters, so I told my 5 sisters that lived here in town and my mom about it. Some of my nieces. Within a month, everybody had cuddle bugs. We were meeting at my house. That was my first official craft group that I started. I was teaching everybody. I was learning and then going back and teaching them. So we started with card making with our cuddle bug machines. What do you do? My videos, Ruth. Usually, okay. So then I'll start my video. I think I know what you're talking about. And then there's my friend. She my best one of my best friends lives up north in New York. Um, and she calls herself the screaming Italian. It's funny. It's funny. She called me one day because I had sent her a tiara because everybody was calling her the queen of whatever. So I sent her the tiara, and she was so surprised. She when she got it, she calls me and she says, "Mrs. Craft Lady, what did you do?" And so I love that message so much. I saved it. And now that's in the introduction of all my videos. Is that what you're talking about, Ruth? So basically, it's my friend saying, "Mrs. Craft Lady, what did you do?" That's what I say in the beginning of my videos. That's a funny question. And so, yeah, it's a way for me to, because she's just such a great friend. Anyway, so, oh yeah, I was telling you guys about my cuddle bug. So I still use a cuddle bug. If you have ever, it's manual, right? This was before I got into the Cricut big time, right? So that was in 2016. In like November of 2016 is when I got my first cuddle bug. A couple of months after that, I got my Explore. No, it wasn't Explorer. Yeah, was it Explorer? No, I got my Cricut. I can't remember. I did get an Explorer Air, I think. Then I got a Maker, and it's been so. Then yeah, then my family, my sisters, my mom, they all ended up getting their Cricut machines as well. Their electronic Cricut machines. I loved it so much that I fell in love with being able to create again. I hadn't been sewing, I hadn't been quilting, I hadn't done anything in a long time. And then I got sick in 2018. I was sick before that and didn't know it. 2018, I had surgery in November of 2018, and my crafting is actually what helped me focus and keep connected. And it helped me because making cards for other people who had brought me things and making just having a good time with my creation process, it helped me to focus and not focus on what I was going through, but focus on the good things that I had going on. So that's why I love crafting so much too, because it helps put me in just in a different space. And I love it so much. Any more questions? Come on, guys, bring your questions. Even I don't whatever you ask, I'm happy to answer it. And if I'm not, I'll just say sorry, no comment. There's really a time I don't have a comment. Um, some of my okay question. Switch the inks in a printer when you want to print sublimation. No, you can't. That's a great question too. So here's the thing: the inks are so different, and it needs to stay dedicated to what you're doing. Okay. So when I say that I have a converted Epson, when I say that this one right here is a converted Epson, that means that it's got the separate tanks, and so that made it possible. Let me fix my screen. I'm sorry. Made it possible for me to be able to use it as a sublimation printer, but it was not used prior to that. It would take a lot to clean it out first and then be able to use it for sublimation. So you want a dedicated printer. So you can buy, and this is not the first one I've done it with. I've done it with another Epson before. In fact, a converted Epson was my very first sublimation printer. I've done it with a Canon. Didn't work out very well. But yes, you want something dedicated. You don't want to be switching the inks back and forth. Yeah, you want a separate printer. But it does, I mean, if they have the separate inkwells where you can, like the Eco Tank, like the Epson has the Eco Tank, right? Let me see if I can show you guys. Right here, where instead of having one cartridge, you pour the ink into individual ones. That's what makes it easy to be able to use it as a sublimation printer when you buy it. So out of the box. But you just buy sublimation ink and fill instead. But no, you don't want to switch back and forth. I like that question. Very good question. What is it? Teal Jones. Okay. I did have one of the crickets. Okay, so this is another funny story. Way before that 2016 I told you all about, 2016 when I got my cuddle bug, I guess a year or two before that, my husband had bought me one of the personal crickets, right? Because I was like, "Ooh, I want a cricket! I want a cricket!" I saw what it could do, and I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool! That's so cool!" I had my own preschool center, but not in my home. But I had my own center. I'm like, I can make this and that. That thing sat there. I did not use it, and it was a small one that you had to use. And I part of the reason I didn't use it is because it was just mind blowing to me that I couldn't. Like, what do I do? I put this cartridge in, and then what? So I did have that one of those, and then my first, what was it? I'm trying to think. My Explorer took a cartridge. And so, yeah, I had all those cartridges. I did. I had a bunch of cartridges too. So I just switched them over into my account when I got the Air and my makers. Yeah, that was good times. That was fun. That was what I did like about having the cartridges though. They did take up a lot of space. But I love that you can actually see what you had and then you had the booklet so you know what you had. But yeah, I did have one of those. Did you have one of those? I would love to know. Was that something that you had as well? I forgot to bring my water in here with me. And let me see. Nope. You do a lot of different crafts. Hi, Keely. Let me think. It depends on how I'm feeling and where I'm at, what my favorite thing is. Because for a long time, my favorite thing was making tumblers. And I mean, that's why I have just the glitter. And I just love the process. And that was good for me, like putting on and smoothing things on because of the calming that it had. Um, right now, I'm trying to think, do I have a favorite? I think right now my favorite is actually designing. I think getting into Adobe Illustrator and coming up with a pattern or getting something done in Procreate and then bringing it into Illustrator to tighten it up. Designing is probably my favorite right now. And I love my Juliet, my Cricut, my Caesar Juliet. There's just a lot. I wish I could say I had a favorite. It's really hard. It's really hard to choose just one thing. And of course, my artistry sublimation, I'll get on a kick and I'll do like project after project after project with my laser or project after project after project with my with sublimation. But yeah, it just depends on how I'm feeling, where I'm at. Yeah, I haven't sewn in a while. I still love it, but I just haven't had a chance to do it. I do a lot of different crafts though, huh? So when people say, what do you do? It's hard for me to answer that. Let me show you. Just come to my room. I'll show you what I do. Susan, you know what? Yes and no. And so with my sawgrass, I started with just the sawgrass cartridges for that. But then, it gets expensive. It gets really expensive. And so I found something that I do like, and I do like the Hippo ink. So that's basically what I'm using right now. I use Hippo. Either the cartridges for my sawgrass or when I'm ready to refill my Epson, they have the ink that you can pour in. And I do like the quality of the ink. So that's basically where I stay. A lot of things I think I am a brand loyalist. I stay true to the brands I use. That's a good one, Ruth. DTF is big, and I love DTF too. Um, the thing is, the process. So I don't have a DTF printer, but I do order my DTF prints out. I don't think it'll really replace it. I do think that as more people get to know about sublimation versus DTF, and more people see that they can order out if they have, if that's what they want to do, it'll just get bigger. I don't think necessarily it'll replace, for instance, like vinyl. A lot of people always like, well, sublimation's replacing vinyl, DTF's replacing vinyl. As a hobbyist, a lot of times those basic things are what stay. People are going to keep using vinyl. And a lot of it is because of the process. And because a lot of times when you're creating as a hobbyist or as a way to bring, just for yourself, it's not about being quick. It's about the process. And so I don't think it'll replace it. I think it's big and it's getting bigger, but I don't think it's going to really replace it. I love that question. But I don't know. I'm not in, I mean, it could, but I don't think it will. Good question. Good question. Any other any other big questions? Inquiring minds. Inquiring minds want to know. What else you guys thinking? I'm trying to think of what else. Ask me a question, Laurel. Laurel, ask me a question.
What up?
What up?
When are you going to send me those socks?
Soon as I get them made.
All
Later this
right.
week.
All right. What do you have? I have a sublimation. I haven't used it since I moved, and I bought the paper. Who did I buy? It might have been Hippo.
Okay.
Hippo paper. You like that paper?
I haven't used Hippo paper. I've used Ace. Ace is my favorite paper, and then Hayes Paper Company. I can use Hayes Paper Company in my Epson, but I usually
Okay.
use Ace in my Sawgrass.
And I only have the sawgrass. Yeah, I only have the sawgrass. What I'd like you to do is take a picture of your socks and put them in our Facebook group. Will you do that?
I
So
will.
people can see. And then if you could actually put the picture of the paper with your image on it and then the socks so they can see how different the color is,
Yes.
it's absolutely amazing. And like she said, it's different than like a heat transfer. That's not vinyl. You don't feel it. It's not something you can peel up over time or whatever. It's just
It's in there.
like always meant to be, always been there. So
Exactly.
anywho, well, that's good. We're good. We've gotten up to our 30 minutes. So we should let Naomi get back to her day and her kids and whatever it was that she was doing.
Well, thank you so much, friends. Thank you for having me. Sorry for being a little bit late. Thank you for the cool
Can't help the
questions.
tech. You can't help the tech gremlins. You can't help the tech gremlins.
All right. And I will post my socks in the group, guys. So
Yes, post
be
the
on the
socks in the group, and then we will be back at 4 o'clock for our wrap-up party, and then this October edition of SFC 2025 is done. Bye, guys. See you in 30 minutes.